Welcome everyone, this is Zon with Repo Products. Today's screencast video is on Autodesk FormIt 360 and how to work with the Visual Styles command. I am here in FormIt 360, web-based application. On the right-hand side are a list of commands. The one we're working with is called Visual Styles. It looks like a pair of sunglasses, and it is the fifth icon from the top. There are 4 buttons here that you can work with, and each time you click one of the buttons, that panel will change. So the first one is surfaces, and this gives you the ability to place a check mark inside a box, for example shadows, and I can see shadows. And as I rotate and move the mouse around a little bit, I can see the shadows a little nicer. You can also, by the way, click this little icon over here for sun and shadows and start to adjust the date and the time, and that will help with the position of the shadows and how long the shadows are going to be for the purposes of the visual effect over here under Visual Styles. You can click Ambient Shadows as well to give it a little bit more pop. And then you can also click Monotone Surfaces. Monotone Surfaces basically takes your FormIt model. If there are already materials that are applied like this, when I place a check mark under Monotone Surfaces, the materials disappear. Okay, and it just gives you a nice clean palette to work with. This icon over here is for edges, and I can use it to display or adjust how much contrast the edges are going to show. This may look a little easier to play with when you switch to monotone. And as you can see, as I take the contrast of the edges down, the edges are very hard to see, but as I move forward to the right, it's a little bit sharper. So you may want to have monotone surfaces turned on in order to adjust this to see it easier. You also can click thick edges to give the overall envelope, if you will, a little darker line work. You can do sketchy lines as well, and hidden edges to display any hidden edges. And you can also extend the edges as well if you're doing sketchy edges. Also, silhouettes are available for you to click and place so you can see how that looks. And then, again, the contrast as well. The third icon here gives you the ability to display or not display the grid, which you can see in the background disappearing and coming back into play. The ground plane as well. The axes, X, Y, Z, whether you want to see them or not. I typically have them turned on. I like to see them. The north arrow, if you need to see where the building is in relationship to northeast, southwest. And also levels. So the reason they give you the ability for levels over here is because when you work with levels, we can add as many levels as we want, and we can specify what the heights are. And if you do this, when you go to work with levels and turn them on or off, you can visually see the line work that displays for the level. Here's an example. If I click and pull this building up, you can start to see the line work for the levels. Now, in order for it to be very, very prominent, if I select the object and go to the properties, I can check Use Levels. And now that I've done this, I can see the line work for the levels. So if I head back over to the Visual Styles window and uncheck levels, I don't see them. I typically like to have them on so that I can see the levels and just get a better sense of how the mass objects that I'm creating are going to be affected by the heights of the levels. And then lastly, you have a settings window here for model diagnostics. And this is to help you look at things like any issues that are watertight issues, so any gaps, if you will. Any back faces, so sometimes how you drawing them, you may have to flip the norms. Showing group bounding boxes as well if you need to see them. So if I zoom in a little bit over here, you can see, and I turn the show group bounding boxes on, you can see the light gridded, it's really like little dots that represent the outline of the box of the group. And then that's it. So these are all the different commands that are contained within the visual style, and it's just a way for you to use the tools to help you visualize and see your model better within the FormIt 360 interface. Thank you very much for watching.